Hi guys, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I'm Megan. I'm the Faithful Fibromyalgia Warrior. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. And if you're coming back again and you've seen some of my other videos, welcome back. So I'm excited. I am filled with hope and joy and faith, not just because it's December 23rd, but God has been doing great things. So what has God been doing? Let me share with you. So if you've watched any of my other videos, or if you've happened to check out my blog, which is at www.true-disciple.com, Megan, the Faithful Fibromyalgia Warrior, then you'll know that I talk about being on the ketogenic diet or being keto, about my renewed faith and restored faith in God, and how that has helped me manage chronic pain, my fibromyalgia, as well as helped me with some of my mental health challenges, including and not limited to anxiety, depression, and bulimia. So that's quite a lot, isn't it? And you might be thinking, how in the world is going keto going to solve all these problems? And the thing is, by itself, it probably won't. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It will not. Okay? However, being keto and a faith in God, or if you're not ready for a faith in God, as far as, God, Father of Jesus, and all the things that we believe that we believe if we're Christian, if that's not where you're coming from at this point, that's okay. You can make it a higher power, something that you can accept, where you realize there's something greater than you, and you're not able to do this by yourself. If that's where you need to start, then that's okay. But I'm going to come from the point of view where I know I can't do this by myself, and who I trust in and who I need is God, who has also provided me with the Holy Spirit. So let's go on to the first bit. Let's get going with the first bit, which is, what is the ketogenic diet? Now, I didn't invent this. I didn't create this. And although there is a huge space out there on YouTube and all sorts of other social media things, I'm getting older. I'm 49. I don't know. There's Facebook and whatever else is out there these days. Okay. But what I do know is that there are a lot of people who are, what do we call them, influencers, who have their opinions and will try to sell you supplements and pills and bars and shakes and all these things in the name of keto. That is not what keto is, okay? It was something that was actually developed by a doctor. I think it was back in the 30s, and the point of it was to help patients who had epilepsy. It was to provide the brain with more saturated fats for glucose, because that was apparently meant to help with some of the reducing seizures and so forth, okay, as well as other health benefits. Now, there is a doctor out of the United States, Dr. Eric Westman. There's videos on YouTube called the White Coat videos, and while he may have not called it the ketogenic diet, it's low carb, higher fat, moderate protein. He has a very straightforward approach to it. You can also get some more specifics from one of my favorite YouTubers, Casey Durango, and you'll find her at Go Keto with Casey. Now, you do not need to buy any pills, any supplements, any special meals, bars, shakes, anything to be successful on the ketogenic diet. All it is you lay off the carbs. Now, I don't just mean the easy, see, carbs are hard to recognize sometimes, right? Like, we know there's carbs in like popcorn, crackers, chips, cake, cookies, all those favorite things, all the party snacks and the Chex Mix and the mixed nuts and all the good things we love to have, especially at Christmas time, full of carbs. Now, carbs are insidious because why? They get converted almost immediately into sugar and stored as fat on our bodies. Okay? Our brains do need glucose to function. However, our bodies would be perfectly happy burning ketones or fats to produce glucose. We don't need carbs. We don't need them. We don't, okay, at all. So if you're able to, cut them right out. That's what I do. I cut out all carbs, and that includes starches. No, so not just the easy to recognize stuff, but I'm talking about obviously outside of carbs, you have sugar, you have fructose, which obviously goes immediately into glucose and stored as fat. So that's no fruits, no processed sugars, no sweet vegetables, nothing with starch. I don't eat vegetables. I don't eat fruit. Um, I don't eat desserts of any sort, or at least I try really hard not to. That doesn't mean I haven't occasionally given in and had a half a cookie or a tiny piece of fudge or something, that, taste of something. Oh, and there's my dog. That's Juno. But I don't make a point of eating dessert, of eating anything on the side. Basically, the essence of the ketogenic diet is you want to eat saturated fats. And the way you do that, in a healthy way, is you eat protein that comes with healthy sources of protein with saturated fat. In other words, protein where the fat comes with the meat. Sorry, what I was saying just now is the essence of the ketogenic diet is you want to eat protein, so healthy sources of fat that come with the protein. So that would be chicken legs or thighs that come with the skin, the darker meat, or turkey, as it's Christmas time and a lot of us will be having a turkey. It could be things like sausages. Make sure that there's no gluten in the filling, but, sausages can be good, healthy source of fatty protein, of fat and protein, because we are not able to make our own amino acids, and we get these essential building blocks from healthy sources of protein. That could be steak. If you can afford it, fantastic. If you can afford ribeyes and chuck roast, well, not chuck roast, sorry, if you can afford ribeyes or prime, or even, outside of steak, you can get maybe prime rib. Anything like that, if you can get it, you want to get it with the marbling and the fat. Why? Because you're getting the extra taste, and that source of fat keeps you fuller for longer, helps you feel satiated. So eating streaky bacon, which I do, making meatloaf or burger patties, or even just frying up fatty ground beef, which is what I do. I take a big, handful, like the size of a snowball maybe, chuck it in the frying pan, grind a tiny bit of salt on top, rock salt, not table salt, because that's been processed. Sea salt or rock salt is good. I grind a little bit on top, fry up the beef. Oh, sorry, let me go back. I take 3 or 4 pieces of streaky bacon and fry it in the pan, extra crispy. Take them out, put them on a plate. Throw in a snowball-sized amount of fatty ground beef, so 20% fat. Chuck it in the frying pan. Put in 2 egg yolks. Grind a little bit of salt on it. Fry it till it's all nice and cooked. Put it on a plate along with the beef fat, and then I usually crush up the bacon and sprinkle it on top. Maybe a bit of mayonnaise, maybe a bit of barbecue sauce, sometimes no sauce at all, and that's what I eat. And it's delicious, and it fills me, and I feel great, and I don't feel the urge or the need to eat for at least a good 5, 6, sometimes 7 or 8 hours. It's satiating. So that's what I eat for me. Now, so what I'm trying to say is you don't have to spend money on super expensive cuts of meat, whether it's beef, whether it's lamb, whether it's pork, whether it's chicken or turkey. If you prefer seafood and fish, go for it. They're full of omegas, so that's a good call. I hate fish. I absolutely despise fish. It doesn't agree with me, ever. If you like fish, go ahead and have it. It is leaner. It has less fat, which means it may not make you feel as full as, say, fatty ground beef or some nice crispy bacon. However, it's still good. It's still a source, a good, healthy source of animal proteins and fats, and it helps with the amino acids. So you may have to eat more of it to feel satiated, but go ahead. You can have seafood, you can have things, if you can have it, if you don't have any issues with it, you can have lobster or crab meat or whatever, and that can all be good for you. But, as Casey Durango would put it, you want to get your pancreas to stop, shooting. You want your, sorry, not pancreas, you want your liver to stop firing out glucose like a hose. Okay? You don't want to have all the carbs and the processed stuff coming into you, being converted into sugar and stored as fat. Because then it just sits on your body. If you're constantly filling it with, constantly filling your body with quick energy, it never needs to burn off what's there, right? So the stored fat will stay stored and you'll keep adding to it. Now, if you are not in a place where you're like, that's it, I'm going to cut out all starches and all carbs now, and you need to ease into it, that's okay. If you need to ease into it, that's fine. No judgment. Some people need that in order to be able to move ahead. That's fine. May I suggest that what you do in the beginning is make sure that you keep an eye on your carb intake. Keep it to 20 grams total maximum per day, right? You may need to increase your protein intake a bit, okay? Not by huge amounts, it's not required. And your fat intake, it doesn't mean you have to add loads of extra fat to your food. You don't have to start eating butter or chunks of cheese. You can cook with butter. You can eat some cheese when you get hungry if you can tolerate it. But the basic way it works is 20 grams of carbs total per day. Okay. 2 cups of non-starchy vegetables, or sorry, one handful of non-starchy vegetables per day, maximum, if you can tolerate it. 2 cups of leafy greens, uncooked, per day, maximum, if you can tolerate them. And you can have some full-fat dairy, I would say in limited amounts, like no more than 4 tablespoons per day, so 2 tablespoons in a cup of coffee. Sort of thing, if you can tolerate dairy. If not, take it off because, you're not going to do well with it. And that's it. Keep your carbs extremely low, as low as you possibly can. Probably have to intake your protein a bit. Make sure it's fatty protein because you'll feel fuller longer and not be wanting to eat all the time. And, limit full-fat dairy in limited amounts. That's it. But really, as Casey would say, the biggest bit is to start laying off the carbs. And if you can't cut them out cold turkey, that's all right. Just start cutting back on them. Especially the way I look at it, you know what? Especially because it's the holidays. I was in today getting myself a coffee to take away. And I was looking at their display case with all their Christmas-themed goodies, right? And whilst they didn't have any because they were sold out, they had a vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free butter tart. And I thought, oh, this will be okay. But then I remembered, yeah, but it still has sugar. And for me, that's it. Done. If it still has sugar, it is still poisonous to my body. It causes me incredible pain and inflammation. Luckily, they were sold out, so it didn't become an issue. But for a couple minutes there, as I was waiting to place my order, I was totally tempted. I was totally tempted. And I realized, you know what, even if I did buy something and have it, wouldn't be the end of the world. I would feel horrible because of it. Not just guilt, but I'm talking like how it would affect me physically. And luckily I said no thank you. But that's going to be a challenge this holiday season. And as much as I, would like to try to give everybody advice of, hey, you know what, just stick with the keto foods, eat some bacon if you're hungry, pick at the leftover turkey if you're feeling a craving, put a little bit of salt on, do those things, I understand and I realize that there may be times where you have to have a little bit of something. And I just wanted to say that if that happens, it doesn't make you a terrible person. I don't want you to feel horrible and guilty about it. But try to get back on the keto protocol as soon as possible. You know, if you have, I don't know, a tiny portion of mashed potatoes, let's say, but it's within your carb daily limits, enjoy it. Enjoy it and don't feel bad, you know. But if, like me, you find that one bite leads to a massive serving, leads to eating all of it, then you may want to avoid the side dishes. Load up on the meat. Whatever meats you're having, whether it's ham or gammon, whether it's turkey or pheasant or duck or goose or a chicken, or whether you're doing seafood for some reason, or beef Wellington, or whatever it is. Load up on as much of the meat as possible. Try to limit or avoid the side dishes, as tempting as they're going to be. And if you know that you are going to have something sweet because you simply cannot go cold turkey, you may want to quickly, before the shops close, go to a place where you know that they can provide gluten-free or sugar-free options. Here in the UK, Tesco is usually pretty good for that sort of thing. I know that even Poundland, at least the bigger ones, have some cookies and biscuits that are sugar-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free. So if you're going to indulge, try to find something that is free from as much as possible and savor it. Enjoy it. And give yourself time to ease out of this, out of eating, the full sugar, gluten stuff, and move away from it so that maybe you can eventually come right off of it, Because at the end of the day, even if it's gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, sugar-free, it still has carbs, right? Carbs become sugar, become body fat. So the idea is you want to keep your carbs as low as possible, regardless of the source, right? And as much as I'm trying to say to you, try your best to not give in. I know my husband is making French toast for everybody Christmas morning. I won't be having any. I am planning to enjoy scrambled eggs and bacon. That's going to be my Christmas breakfast. And they can go ahead and they can enjoy their French toast. No problem. So I guess what I'm saying is try to be prepared, right? Now, that's keto. I know all the things to do based on what I've watched and listened to from Casey Durango at Go Keto with Casey, some of the advice I've heard from Carnivore Yogi, some of the nutrition advice from Nutrition with Judy, and these guys are all on YouTube as well. But what I've come to see is, as great as the advice is, I cannot do it and follow it on my own strength. I can't. And for me, the most important thing is my faith in God. And be honest with you completely, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I want to do is pray. And thank God. I thank Him for my life. I thank Him for my family, for all the blessings I have. And then I pray for Him to give me the strength to eat the right foods, to not be overwhelmed by all the food choices that are out there, to help me continue in my recovery from bulimia. And I pray for that daily, or almost daily, because that's what I have to do, because if it was up to me, I would still be deep in my struggles with bulimia. So although keto has helped immensely, if I wasn't praying and talking to God and working through it, it wouldn't make a difference. I would have eventually relapsed and gone back to eating all the junky crap food I did before. Or I'd be so overly obsessed, I'd be on the scale every day, weighing myself, measuring myself with a tape measure every day. And I don't do that. It took me a long time to phase out of that. And there are moments where every now and again I will go back and measure myself to make sure I'm weight stable, but I don't do it every day like I used to. And so for me, that's a victory, but I couldn't have gotten there without my relationship with God, without realizing I needed someone to help me. And as I prayed and put before God my struggles with bulimia and my anxiety over it, which is really where my bulimia comes from, is it is triggered by my extreme anxiety. So although I do take antidepressants for my anxiety and my depression, and they help to a certain point, and with the keto, I find because it's reduced a lot of, with my weight loss and my inflammation and pain is reduced. It is not gone completely, but it is reduced. But the most amazingly significant change I have seen personally, is that not only has my pain and inflammation been reduced, my brain fog has been reduced. And that has allowed me to be able to pray with meaning and purpose and put everything before God. So, again, if you are not a Christian, I hope you're not, I don't mean to offend, and you may have a different God that you pray to or something else that you believe in. That's okay. For me, the key was that, honestly, I could not do this by myself. And I needed to rely on someone else, in my case, who was greater than me. And for me, that's God. And so therefore, going keto and returning to my faith in God has made the difference. And it is helping me daily to maintain my recovery from bulimia and helping me to manage my anxiety and my depression and my stress levels. I really hope that this has been helpful. I know I said that I'm probably going to be putting something out that is more specifically about my bulimia. Still working on that and how I want to put that forward. So if I do decide to, it'll be sometime in the new year. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys got a video before the Christmas break. Might be a little while before my next video is done. But I wanted to wish everybody who has been supporting me, liking my videos, subscribing, thank you so much. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful and fantastic Christmas, regardless of whether you get to visit with people in person, whether you're now limited to video only. It's hard to say that that's changing almost daily, but I hope you are able to have a great Christmas regardless. I hope this video is helpful and gives you some ideas and some suggestions for yourself or for somebody you might know. But thank you so very much for your continued support, and I appreciate all of it, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the new year. I'm hoping to perhaps even start doing some live stream events for those who are available to join. Haven't quite worked out those details yet, but that's my hope. And in that case, I look forward to hopefully getting on live stream with you guys and, talking about other things, other suggestions, other advice. I don't know, but let's have a great holiday season, hopefully, and let's make sure we look after those who need our support and try to be able to encourage people who can't get out or who can't have visitors any way we can possibly. Thank you so much for all of this. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Love you guys, and we will talk soon. Maybe, perhaps for real, like if I can figure out how I want to live stream, but I will have more content for you guys in the new year. For now, all the best, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays.